Accommodating 400,000 people, Dadaab Refugee Camp is considered the largest refugee camp in the world. The camp primarily holds Somali people who fled to Kenya in 1992, which is when the largest camp started. As we travel back in time, we will look into the reasons why they fled, their current conditions at the refugee camp, and their chances of returning to Somalia. In 1992, when the war reached a greater level and starvation grew very high, the United States and other nations decided to move to Somalia in order to give them peace through organizations, but failed. Kenyan troops decided to enter Somalia in 2011, and the best result was conquered when the United Nations Security Council supported the troops to capture Somalia. Most of the southern Somalia have been captured by Kenyan troops and now live in Kenya at the refugee camps. So what were the conditions in Kenya before you fled?
We were living in a state of war, of constant war, for around 10 or so years. We left because there was a lot of hunger, danger, and hostility, and even death. Also, there was a strong obligation to obey a dictator who abused his power. We, as a whole, were feeling very suppressed and hopeless.
Why was Kenya the choice of immigration?
We were searching for the hope of a better life and promising future. Kenya seemed to be able to apply such things for us, and as Somalis, but just in general. It offered an escape. We wanted to get away from the effects of war and live in a safe place with more protection.
So how did the conditions in Somalia compare to the conditions in Kenya?
The conditions in the camp weren't as good as we had expected, but it still did not compare to the horrible conditions that we found in Somalia. The camp offered safety and protection. This helped us to actually see the better life that we was promised in Kenya rather than in Somalia, where the war was happening.
Currently, the life of the camp can be considered poor. Although Somalis are safe and have plenty of security in the camp, they still face difficulties in poor housing and poor living standards.
The pros are that they get to live in a better country with steady economic growth and good education. The cons are that the Kenyan taxpayer has to deal with lots of issues relating to illegal immigration, money laundering, and terrorism. These costs could have been otherwise factored into other things such as health and other social programs in the Republic of Kenya. However, since the Somalis are still part of the East Africa, I mean, it's okay. I don't think that it's fair for anybody to be excluded.
I have a lot of hope in Somalia because it is where I'm from. I think Somali people should go back home because we can't wait for other people to develop our country while we reside in other places.
Somalis have been through a lot since 1960, but their lives are expected to become better in small steps.